Hey guys, welcome back to the video, and today we're going to be actually talking about Lego Star Wars, not the games that I have right there, but the TV shows. Because I've actually been watching all of them recently, and they've actually been really fun. And I just want to talk about them and how they're nearly as good as the live action stuff and the animated stuff. It's like Clone Wars and Bad Batch. Kind of weird to say like that. But let's get into it. Let's talk about all the shows.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So first up is Lego Star Wars The Yoda Chronicles. So this is made in like 2013, and the first 3 episodes are focused on basically this clone called Jack 14. He's a Sith clone made to battle for the Sith. And basically in the first episode, Mace and Yoda have to stop Count Dooku and General Grievous from making this clone. But they don't succeed. But in the second episode, at the beginning of it, the clone decides he doesn't want to battle for the Sith or the Jedi and just runs off and wants to begin his own life away from the Sith. And the Jedi is pretty cool, and it's just a funny story, and everyone has to look for the clone, and it's funny, all that. And like the Jedi like a higher bounty hunters for some reason, but it's kind of cool. Cad Bane's there for some reason. Wow, why? Also, C-3PO is kind of guiding the Padawans, which are like way too strong in this. I don't know why, but it's classic old Lego. It's just funny, I guess, and stuff. But the second 4 episodes are set in the original trilogy, and it's basically about these holocrons that the rebellion needs to get off of the Empire. Well, basically the first episode of the original trilogy bits. The fourth episode of the show is about Obi-Wan. He's going to hide. He recalls when he and the Padawans go and steal those holocrons of the Jedi Temple and go hide them on Tatooine. And yeah, so I guess a lot of the episode is taking place in the prequel trilogy, but like also, the beginning and the end are like in the originals right after episode 4. So in episode 5, they kind of go and race to the holocrons. So episode 5 of the Yoda Chronicles is where Luke and Vader go and race to the holocrons. Very fun. But Vader gets them, and it's a big loss for them. Oh, no. And in episode 6, Luke and everyone they go and raid Coruscant to get the holocrons back, and then they get destroyed because Luke sacrifices the holocrons so that no one has them. And I forget what the 7th episode is about. Sorry. This whole show is just really fun, Actually, a cool thing with the 4th episode is where a good joke is where Darth Vader's like, "I have you now," or "I'll hunt you to the end of the galaxy," and then people are just pointing out that that they can't hear him. And it's just a funny joke. But what makes it funnier is that when they call back when middle of the episode where it takes place just after episode 3, when they're trying to steal the holocrons, he says that, and like the stormtroopers like, "They can't hear you," and Vader says like, "Oh, thanks for pointing it out." Like it's the first time that they told him that, which kind of makes sense because like he hasn't really been Darth Vader for very long. It's a good joke. Next up is Lego Star Wars Droid Tales, released in 2015, kind of to hype up The Force Awakens, I think. Basically, it takes place after episode 6, and everyone's happy and they're like celebrating because they blow up the second Death Star, but then someone kidnaps R2-D2 and brings. And C-3PO goes after him and chases him around the galaxy. And while he's doing that, he recalls events from episodes 1 through 6, which is a really cool thing. And I don't know, it's just fun. The first episode of the show recalls the first 2 movies, and then the second episode recalls episode 3 and like an adventure from the Clone Wars, which is pretty cool. The third episode of the show recalls the 4th movie of A New Hope and Rebels, and the 4th episode covers episode 5, and the 6th episode covers episode 6. That's pretty cool, and it's just cool. She has General Veers as the villain in the last episode. It's cool. Though I don't think why I don't really know why Lando betrayed everybody. Like he was just after blowing up the second Death Star. But it is just kind of funny how everyone was just like really, really, really mad at Lando for doing all of that. And rightfully so. Lando kind of messed up there and betrayed everybody. Come on, Lando, why did you do that? And it's just a fun story, I guess. I would love for them to make a season 2, maybe with like 3 episodes recalling the events from the sequels, I guess. I don't know if you'd like that, but like I think it'd be pretty cool because I've definitely done that much with the sequel. They have done a bit with the sequels and Lego, which I'm going to be covering in a few minutes later on in the video, I guess. But we haven't really seen any Lego TV show set around the sequels for very long, I guess. Oh God. Next up is Lego Star Wars: Freemaker Adventures. Season 1 of the show I just absolutely adore. I just love it, okay? Basically, this show definitely introduces the most lore in the Star Wars universe, and it's kind of debatable whether it's canon or not. Basically, these three siblings, the Freemaker siblings, the Freemakers, they are scavengers and they like build ships and sell them, and they go to scavenge some parts on the ship, but they run into the Empire and all that. And this Rowan kid, he's actually force sensitive. He finds that out and he senses these Kybersis crystals, but this Sith agent who who is going to is trying to hunt down the Kyber Saber because Kyber Saber crystals because Palpatine told her. She runs into Rowan, and she pretends to be a Jedi and kind of like pretends to train him to try to find the Kyber crystals, and it's just a really good season and everything, and I just like it. But in the 7th episode, Rowan finds out about Nare's secret, and then for episode 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, they're basically running away from Nare, trying to get the last Kyber crystals. But in the 12th one, it's Nare finds out where the last Kyber crystal is, and she's able to form the Kyber Saber in episode 13. But instead of giving it to the Emperor, she kind of betrays the Emperor and tries to become the Empress of the Galaxy. And and then her and Rowan have a fight, and it's just like a fun end to the season and everything. And I think the season finale is definitely very fun. I've actually rewatched the whole show. But anyway, season 2 definitely isn't as good as the first season. It's kind of a bit of a drag in the middle part of the season, kind of towards the end. Basically, Rowan and his siblings, they join the Rebel Alliance, and the first episode is just a bunch of little stories about them and the Rebels, and it's kind of fun. But in the second episode, they introduce a new Empire agent called MOC, and he kind of just hunts them down and all that, and it kind of gets a little bit repetitive towards the end, and like they always just try to find a way to escape, and it's kind of self-aware, because at the end of the season, Rowan says just to MOC how it's getting a bit repetitive, and that there's a flaw in the Emperor's plan, I guess, kind of. Like, MOC is a flaw, and then MOC goes on to think that the second Death Star also has a flaw, so he tries to protect it. So that plan kind of backfired because the season 2 episode 13, Return of the Jedi, is kind of like it takes place in Return of the Jedi, is the season finale of the show. But a good thing is that Rowan's trying to create this arrowhead with Kyber crystals. Not Kyber Saber crystals, they can form a saber. It's just Kyber crystals. And he does create it, and it's just OP, and it can cut through the Star Destroyers and everything. It's really cool. But again, the second season, it gets to be a drag and everything. But the season finale, but it is pretty good though. How it intertwines with Return of the Jedi. It's just really, really cool, and it's good. And I do wish they would make season 3 maybe taking place in the sequels. That'd be pretty cool. To see where the Freemakers are at during that time, and yeah, who knows how powerful Rowan is then, because he's pretty powerful and when he's only 12 years old. Anyway, now for the last Lego thing in the video. And of course, lastly, we have Lego Star Wars The Holiday Special. This special mainly taking place in the after Episode 9 on Life Day. It just finds a way to include like so much material from all three trilogies, and it's just really cool. Unfortunately, the prequel trilogy is kind of in it the least, of course. And then original trilogy, and but sequels just focus on the most, and they even have like a little Mandalorian cameo, which is very cool. Since the second season was airing when this special released. It's just a very fun special. You don't have to count this canon. It's probably better if you don't count this canon, because that's this like thing how you like time travel, and it's kind of weird. Like if Rey goes back in time, doesn't she just mess up the whole saga? By the way, they also have something from Clone Wars. But like, I just don't really get it. If this is canon, then it kind of just ruins everything. But that's just not counted canon. I guess that would probably be better. The animation kind of has this like weird look to it. Like has like bumps, little goosebumps. I don't know how we'd call it. But yeah. All of the places they go to in the time travel scene, except one where they go on Exegol, is from the original and prequel trilogy, which is good because like it's mainly taking place after Episode 9, so you need to get those other two trilogies in there, and it's really cool. It's really cool. 44 minutes. If you have Disney Plus and you have time, definitely watch this.
Hey, over to
Actually, just watch everything. Grace, stop! I'm nearly at the end of this, okay? But if you have time, just watch just watch the Droid Tales. Watch Chronicles. Watch Freeman Adventures. They're all really good, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Grace, shut up!
I'm Chubby.
Yeah, okay, Chubby, shut up. No.